Let's dip our toes into the world of film now, shall we? And the movie The Deal will represent South Africa at the 2023 Essence Film Festival in New Orleans. The film is about gender-based violence and its impact on mental health. It follows the life of an 18-year-old South African who finds herself in a transactional sexual affair with a wealthy benefactor. Let's take a look.
So, Bana Baba Unjan.
How are you, my girl?
I'm good, thank you.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. This is my entrance code. I'm going up to the penthouse.
Yeah.
Dumela ma.
Dumela ngwanaka.
Yana ka ke o boleletse ke tlhoke next mo wena ke go fela ke tlhoka 9300 ya go register ka sekolong go kwala ka sana so o gone go nthusa go jwang.
It's your body, dude. You can change your mind.
And it's his money, man.
Listen, Tim, this thing is simple, okay? As long as the numbers make sense. Why are you running away from me?
It's not safe out there. Can we take Koswa how we're presenting?
Chartered accountancy.
Oh.
Hurry up. Don't take too long.
That is a trailer of the movie The Deal, which will represent South Africa at the 2023 Essence Film Festival in New Orleans. Let's talk now some more to the executive producer of the movie, Mohammed, who joins us virtually from here in Johannesburg. Katie, thank you so much for your time. I'm going to admit to you that just a few of those shots really got goosebumps going with me. And I'm talking from the perspective of the types of stories that we bring to the nation every day about these kinds of relationships, the impact that they have, and how so many of them end up having, most of them end up having such a detrimental impact on the lives of the young person involved, and often, tragically, ends up as far as death as well. Those are just the types of everyday gender-based violence stories that we bring to South Africans, often and almost mostly involving teenage girls who find themselves in very vulnerable situations for various reasons. And just that shot of her shoes, her very teenage-styled shoes, and her being in this very grown-up situation, you can't help but be impacted by it because it's just so very real and very relevant. Why was it important for you and your team to tell this story?
I think when I got, this vision was Paul Mujaji's vision, and I think he wanted to tell the story following the Fees Must Fall movement, and I think that was where it all came from. When Paul asked me to be involved as part of this movie, was purely, I drive a women empowerment initiative called W Suite, and the conversation is always around how young girls and women as well are challenged economically for decisions that they need to make, and it actually is quite detrimental to the future of the economy of our country, and it's societal discrimination for us if we want to move forward in our lives of the youth.
It's a very tough subject matter that you and the team had to deal with on a day-to-day basis. How tough was it to stick to its truth, speak power to truth, and not say, listen, we're making a film, perhaps we must, soften the edges a little bit?
Look, we didn't want to soften the edges, and I think Paul's vision was really to tell the true story, because I think when we try to soften the edges, when we try to make men look like they are some men look like they are supporting women purely by buying data for them or trying to pay school fees. We didn't want to, because these are the issues that we deal with on a regular basis. We see women, we see young girls try to reach out to people for help, and I think people abuse their honesty.
Indeed. You are taking this to the international audience. You have already. The Deal recently won an award for Best Drama in Turkey. You're now taking it to the Essence Festival. How has it been received? Because in as much as you're telling a very South African story, I can imagine that it's something that has touched the experience of many people in different corners of the world where this kind of thing is a problem as well.
I think us being at the Essence Film Festival, I think the organizers would have realized equally that the storytelling, the story that we are trying to tell affects even the youth in America. So, and I think that was the most important thing. And what is amazing about the Essence Festival, it's the biggest festival of culture in the USA. It has been running for 20 years. It's part of the Essence magazine. And it's really a platform that's created for Black and brown people to connect, to network, for entrepreneurs and thought leaders to come together. So I think this year it was really, for us, it was celebrating our excellence. It was a platform for networking, for possible distribution, for funding, and for fellow producers to meet and collaborate. We are one of the 4 countries at the Essence Film Festivals from Africa. So it's Kenya, it's Nigeria, it's Ghana, and South Africa. So it's really a big deal, if I do say so myself. And I think this year the festival has created a culture connection, and really it's the first year. So for us, it's really a big deal to be part of this launch.
And anybody who knows the industry will know that the Essence media conglomerate really at its core is about telling stories by the people, for the people, on various platforms, but also very much speaking to the urban experience of people across the world. And that really is something that's connective as well, but celebrating it through telling our own stories.
And I think it's you know, we all are telling stories, and we all go through exactly the same thing in our own different cultures. And I think that's what brings it all together in our storytelling, is that you might have equal issues that I have, but actually we're probably from 2 different cultures, but it's actually the same societal, systemic, whether it's classism or racism or gender-based violence that we all experience. And I think poverty. And I think the Deal is really telling the stories, especially with having the 2 different age groups there, to say that, you know, Mom Abigail Kubeka, who plays the Gogo, who is a sufferer of dementia, which is a mental health illness, which we as people of cultures don't understand or don't accept. And you have someone like Botlale, who has you know, a lack of funding for something as simple as registration fees.
Such a very real topic, something that many people will be able to resonate with. Thank you so much for your time and for telling the story. Katie Mohammed talking to us virtually there from Johannesburg. She is the executive producer of a new film, The Deal, which has been selected to represent South Africa at the 2023 Essence Film Festival in New Orleans. We wish her and the rest of the crew everything of the best as they continue to tell this important story.